to the Craze in 10 or less. This is the show where I give it to you in 10 minutes or under, and if I don't, I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. Anyway, beef. We're not talking about cattle. We're talking about serious opposition, conflict in the workplace, disagreements, splitting up, getting rid of baggage. Does it belong on social media? That's the topic of the day. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Stop acting up. Let's get it. So, why this topic? First of all, I am so excited to be back. This is my new setup. This is the new studio. Check out the tour. There's going to be a big tour unveiling. The unveiling of the studio. I'm in Texas. It's hot. It's getting hot in here. I'm going to keep on all my clothes. So, I'm in Texas. I'm excited. This is a new studio. But that's not the topic of the day. The topic is dissension in the ranks. It's real. So the 6 weeks or so that I've been packing and loading and unloading and moving and driving cross country for over 30 hours with my boy Johnny Syfax. Oh, and if you haven't checked it out, check out the 1 minute episodes of Johnny and I and our wacky zany adventures on our road to Texas. But so during that time, I noticed that online, I've been seeing a lot of airing out dirty laundry. Speaking of laundry, my washing machine broke on its way here to Texas, so now I'm going to a laundromat until I can get a new washer. That sucks. That really sucks. He just didn't make it. So, but anyway, airing out dirty laundry. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know what the purpose is. I think, but again, I'm not choosing sides. That's not what we do here at the House of Craze. We don't get caught up in that stuff. And if we have individual conflict, we deal with it off the air. Because in my opinion, and this is one man's opinion, don't single me out. That's not what this is about. This is about, does the world need to know that there are issues? Does everything need to be transparent? You know what I'm saying? Because some things you can work out off the air, and sometimes those people that you've dragged through the mud all over social media end up becoming friends again down the road. So, but anyway, so I've been seeing this. It's everywhere. I see it on the gram. I see it on Facebook. I see it on Twitter. And I'm like, this world of there's so much tension with everybody bottled up and being home and locked up and cooped up. And I think what happens is, I don't know. It's like you see people online and you say, well, they have a great camaraderie. There's a great group going on. Then next thing you know, there's a link that broke. Then all of a sudden it spilled out for the world to see. And I'm like, ugh, that's no bueno. That's not a place, at least in my opinion, is not a place that I wanted to get into any sort of controversy. I'll give you a perfect example. There's trolls out there. We all know that. And I'm not talking about the ones that you see in like Lord of the Rings. I'm talking about trolls. The ones that their whole purpose in life is to go out and just antagonize. To go out and try to light a match and see if they can burn the forest down. Right? Are they going to get smoke? Or are they going to get fire? And we've been subjected to some of that. I know I have. And if it's a platform that I'm in control of, if it's a post that I'm in control of, I delete it before it breathes fire. When I see that match and I smell smoke, I delete it. I don't give voice to negativity because we don't put out negativity. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell you, we're no stranger to conflict. We've had internal, odds in the House of Craze, but we keep it inside. We don't air our dirty laundry. Who wants to see my socks? My dirty socks, right? Who wants to see the holy t-shirts that I won't get rid of after 500 years, but because they're so comfortable. I just won't get rid of that one T-shirt that has holes in it. It just feels so good, right? But no one wants to see that, you know. That's why I wear it at home, you know. But my wife's always telling me, please don't wear that, to work. Please don't wear that to work, meaning underneath the undershirt, right? She goes, because if something happens to you and you go to the hospital, what are they gonna say? I would say they're gonna say your wife don't take care of you. so, so then I get the smack, right? And I deserve the smack. But that's neither here nor there. There's always gonna be disagreements. There's always gonna be misunderstandings, and sometimes there's a difference between unintentional and intentional. Either way, my opinion, don't put it out there. Don't put your trash out there. But there is intentional, and I think sometimes we like to see the best in people, but our gut tells us that something's wrong here. Right now, I'll give you another example. It's a buddy of mine. Right, went into business with a couple of buddies of his, and but knew the character, the contents of their character were not in line with his values. And that business went sour. And it's because their values weren't in line. And so put them in a precarious position. And to now spark a series of events that's going to, haunt them for a long time. And I think you got to know the person's DNA before you go into business with that person. You have to understand who you're dealing with, and don't try. I think what happens is we're conflicted at times. We let our humanity take over. Well, maybe they changed. I think in business, people have to earn trust. And you only earn trust through consistent discipline, consistent results, consistent integrity. A leopard doesn't change its spots, and some things don't change overnight. I know that from a personal experience. I loved my brother to death, right? My brother, he and I were tight. He was my older brother. We were tight. God rest his soul. But my brother was a compulsive liar, right? And so I always wanted to see the best in him, but I also knew what I was playing with. So I kept him at bay. I kept that relationship at a distance, guarding myself from being let down, protecting myself from allowing myself to be hurt, right? So that way I didn't have to air my dirty laundry. I didn't have to constantly nag him. Why don't you change? Why don't you? I know his personality. When people show you their true colors, believe it. Believe it. So this isn't. Coming back. I had a few other things I wanted to talk about on the show today. It's comics, but I noticed in the indie comics we already have a bad rap. Independent comics have a bad rap. Inconsistent, right? Crowdfunding. You know how many complaints we get where people who support crowdfunding campaigns and those indies never deliver. They disappear, one-hit wonders, or they bite off more than they can chew, and they go on campaigns. They take the money and they run, right? And people are chasing them. Where's my books? Where's my stuff? Producing one book but never finishing it, never finishing the series, or there's so many reasons why we get a bad rap. Now, when you see the independent community at odds with each other, and it's happening consistently everywhere I look, I'm seeing beef. It's like, and when you turn on the news, all you see is conflict. It's like society is just losing their minds, right? All I can say is, guys, you knew what you were getting into from jump. Don't air your dirty laundry. You're just as guilty as the individuals that you're working with, right? And sometimes less is more. Sometimes you don't need an entourage to get something accomplished. If you don't have those ride or die characters, personalities that are going to be there, and they have the same mindset, and they're willing to go the distance with you, then don't get involved. Or if you are going to get involved, know that you're only going to get 20%. and accept it. Don't demand 100 when you already know the person's only able to give you 20. It's your fault just as much, right? And I'm not singling anybody out. This isn't directed to one individual. This is a whole conglomerate of people that are just going at odds with each other. And I'm like, whoa, we're supposed to be having fun. We're supposed to be creating. We're supposed to be enjoying this movement, that crowdfunding has enabled the independence, right? Crowdfunding has been a blessing for the independent community because it allows us to move the needle forward, to make headway, to make gains in a market that's already tough enough as it is. It's very tough. Why make it tougher? Right? So my message to everybody out there is just ease it down. Fight behind the scenes. But try to find ways to just accept what is and move on peacefully. But use the social media campaigns to promote you and your work. Let your work shine through. When they go low, we go high, right? I love that saying. So again, I'm not on my high horse because I am no stranger to conflict, and I've learned early on, back in the early days of Crazy Comics, there were times where I fell victim to airing my dirty laundry. It didn't get me anywhere. It didn't make me feel good. It made me feel like a heel. Right? So, and I'm speaking from experience. So, with that said, my indie friends out there, I appreciate every single one of you out there. We're not picking sides here. Everybody that we've come across, we appreciate all of you for supporting us as individual independent comic book creators and supporting Catch the Craze podcast. And we just want the best for everyone out there. We hope that you find ways to find a happy ground and keep it moving. You don't have to take my advice. This is just one man talking, one man's opinion, right? So, with that said, I'm glad to be back. The Craze and 10 or Less is back. Look for it every Mondays on Catch the Craze TV. If you haven't seen it, check out the webisodes of Johnny and myself traveling to Texas. Is some funny stuff. Johnny in a hazmat suit. Me singing to Johnny. Johnny having a panic attack about driving. Lots of crazy stuff. A lot of fun stuff. And thank you, Johnny, again, my bro dog. We had a great time traveling to Texas together. And again, there's only 4 days left of Forbidden on Indiegogo. Support this independent and fantastic artist, Nani Arroyo. Amazing lettering by George the Dream of Medina. Fantastic coloring by Barbara. And created by yours truly. So I appreciate you. If you like this episode, please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. And if you disagree with me, I'm happy to hear your side of it. Just, put the comments below, but keep it PC because no hate mongering. If you agree with me, tell me why. But let's have a conversation without clashing. How about that? Can we do that? So I'm Sam, the Crazy Man Vera. That's the Crazy 10 or Less. Peace out. Talk to you soon.